love these like iterations. They're great, aren't they?
Yeah, I do too. Let's move on then to Skeptical in Sterling Heights. And Skeptical says, my mother passed away last year. She was purchasing a home on land contract. The seller now says he will work with me and my family to buy the home, but he says he won't put me on the land contract. Just send the payments and the rest will work itself out. Will it really? Question mark. From Skeptical in Sterling Heights.
I do like that. At least, at least they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We have quite a few people who call on a regular basis, like at least once or twice a week, where they weren't thinking and they believe it, and then we have to unwind transactions. I can think of two right now that I'm dealing with, where, I mean, I had one lady who deeded a property over to somebody based on a promise to pay, nothing in writing, and that person took the property and then sold it out from under her, and we're
Wow.
undoing everything. We're unwinding it. Actually, I got
Mm-hmm.
3 deals like that because people are trusting and or want to do the right thing. And but here's the thing on that one. That's actually very interesting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because his mother is the actual party to the contract. The mother is now deceased.
Yep.
If there are no provisions, she hasn't left a will, she's done nothing there. Um, the only way, she still has an interest, okay? It's her estate's interest. Remember we were talking about real estate and probate? Now we get
Mm-hmm.
into probate. The estate has an interest in the property. This young man or, her son, I don't know if they're young, but this man and his family, so I'm going to assume him and his young family, will have to open an estate, probate the estate so he can be the personal representative for his mother's estate. And
Okay.
then he can go back, and he's already said that the seller is willing to work with them, but now they can do it right. Okay. What they can do is they can amend the contract because this son will be the personal representative who then will maybe take his mother's interest and then deed it over to himself and his family. And now he can sign a contract or an amendment with the seller. Because here's the thing, it wouldn't work out okay the other way. If you follow me for a minute, and it's kind of like a little Rubik's Cube, let's pretend there's a memorandum of land contract that's been filed with the court, with the recording office. And we don't know if that's the case or not. But let's pretend for a second that it was. The mother has now an interest in this property. Unless the mother's interest is cleared out, either by a probate or the seller forecloses out her interest with a land contract forfeiture, she will have an interest in this property. So if this young man or the son continues to pay the seller every month on the property, what's he doing? He's making a payment, but he doesn't have a vested interest in the
Mm-hmm.
property. His mother does. So when it comes time, let's say, for him to run and get refinanced and pay off the seller, what happens? The seller's going to say, geez, so sorry. You're not entitled. I don't owe anything to you. I have no obligation to you. Oh,
Yep.
you paid on behalf of your mother. And nobody can get title fast enough into this guy's name because now they got to run and do probate. And if
Mm-hmm.
I were representing and let's say my client was a seller and he wanted that property back, you better believe I'm going to throw that into forfeiture. And in 90 days, I'm going to get that property back. A probate could take longer.
Mm-hmm.
That's why whenever you sense a problem, you have to stop and correct the legal problem as quickly as possible the right way. If you don't, it will fester and make things worse at a later time. There are so many rules and regulations and contract theory and legal theory that can actually disenfranchise you even though you've done the right thing as a buyer or as a seller, okay? So here, even though he thinks he might think, oh, it's so easy for me to pay the seller, and I can just step in my mother's shoes. Well, yes, until the end, because a title company, if you're trying to get financing or something, will never insure that title until it's done right.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, that seller has no legal, it's called privity, no legal privity with the children until a court gives that son the authority on behalf of the estate of the mother to act on behalf of the estate, to then put the title in his name so that he can go and negotiate with the seller once again.
Okay. So in the meantime, he should not make the payments?
No, you know what? This again is something that like you would hire, you wouldn't do this on your own.
Yeah.
I do these quite a bit, and obviously that question came into my office probably within the past week or two. We would pick up the phone and we'd reach out to that seller and say, hey, kind of what I told you, Blair, hey, this is the problem. If you're willing to work with our client, we would like a temporary agreement while we go and get the probate, the estate probated, and you're going to accept this money. We're going to put it to the side in an escrow account until the court blesses this transaction, and we can move forward. And there may be some people out there watching, and I'm sure there are, who might say, David, that's so complicated. You're making it so complicated. Well, guess what?
Well, yeah.
Nothing of value is free,
Yep.
and anything that's easy and you know that you think it's easy, it's not going to be worth doing.
Yep.
Okay.
No,
Do it
absolutely.
the right way.
Yep. Yep. I was listening to some real estate investing training earlier today, and basically all of the very successful people who were giving the conference said, if it's easy, it's probably not the best strategy. If it's hard, then it's probably the way to go. So, all
Yeah.
right. That was a really great question. Very interesting. I have to dig deep into